Hey everybody, internship coordinator here. And at this point, you should have completed all 4 iterative tests for your egg drop simulator. With your tests, you hopefully have completed the data table here that includes all 4 tests with the materials and whether or not they did or did not survive the 3 different heights. If you've done more than 4 tests, no big deal. Try to stop at 4 because the next part is going to require you to compare a bunch of data, and we want to make sure we're going to do that effectively. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide. At this point, you hopefully should have answered the 2 questions based on this materials data table that you looked at. If you haven't, let's take a look at it together real quickly. If you notice on the left side, we have the 6 different items or materials that we had for our egg drop. And in the middle, we have the size in which the material was when you would add it to your model. So for example, if you look at the cotton ball, every cotton ball you added was about 1 inch in diameter because it's a round sphere. And it would weigh about 1 gram. So every time you added a cotton ball, you added about 1 gram of weight. Toilet paper, so 1 square would be about a 4x4 inch. The lunchbox and cardboard box had the exact same dimensions in terms of their size. They're 10 inches wide by about 6 inches long and about 3 inches tall. The biggest difference being the weight. The lunchbox was 25 grams and the cardboard box was 14 grams and so on. So if you notice, for all of these different things that you use and the different amounts you use, the size and weight obviously will be affected within the model. So knowing that, you should be able to kind of look back at your 4 different drop pods, look back at the 4 different materials you had, look back on whether or not they survived or didn't survive the different drops of the different heights, and decide, well, which one do I think weighs the most and which one do I think weighs the least? If you want to be very precise or as precise as possible, you can go back into the simulator if you want and kind of watch what happens as you change the materials. But if you notice, you should hopefully see kind of what materials you used and then kind of be able to estimate, because we're not being specific, but estimate which one you think is the heaviest and which one you think is the lightest. Based on whatever you pick, maybe it's drop pod number 1, maybe it's drop pod number 2, whatever. Explain why. Why did you think that? How did you come up with that? Okay. And once you're done, that leads us to this little activity. Very simple, very easy. This is a model of a scale for your lightest drop to your heaviest drop. So think of it kind of almost like a timeline in a sense, but instead of measuring time, we're measuring weight. And on the left side of this scale, you're going to put the lightest drop models or drop pods that you have. And on the far right side, you're going to put the heaviest. So left to right, lightest to heaviest. So let's say in answer number 1 on the previous one for heaviest, maybe it was your 4th drop. Maybe that was your heaviest, okay? That's what you estimated. And maybe the question number 2 that asked the lightest, maybe you estimated that was your 2nd one. Now the question is, which one fall in between and where? So maybe you look at it again and you think to yourself, okay, number 3 looks like maybe it's the 2nd lightest and number 1 is probably the heaviest. So you'll put them in order from lightest to heaviest, and then your scale is finished. So to kind of recap, by the time you're done, you should be able to tell yourself and kind of reason together, hey, I think the lightest one is on the far left nearest that egg picture, and my heaviest one is on the far right nearest that box. That's the activity, or at least the 3 parts. If you have any questions, reach out to your internship coordinator. Otherwise, good luck.